Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and I have one simple question for you guys. What in the world did they do to Shipment? When it was first revealed that this map would be coming to the game, a lot of us were pretty skeptical because they were changing the layout and allowing for vertical gameplay by letting players get up on top of the crates. But honestly, that's the least of my concerns right now. My biggest concern, which no doubt you guys have been watching throughout this video, is what in the world were they thinking with this spawn system? I will never understand why Infinity Ward thought this would be a good idea. I mean, for crying out loud, there is no rhyme or reason to any of this. The game just throws you in one of the map's 15 spawn points randomly. It doesn't matter what game mode you're playing, you and everyone else in the lobby will just spawn anywhere, including the dead center of the map, and it's just total chaos, guys. It is complete and total chaos. Now, I have seen some arguments online saying that Shipment has always been like this, right? But that's honestly not the case. I've played Call of Duty for a very long time. Back in Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare Remastered, and even in Call of Duty World War II, Shipment was always controlled chaos, right? You could rush effectively, but you could also set up shop in one of the four corners of the map, and you could predict spawns and control that map if you were good enough. But you have no such options here in Modern Warfare 2019. The decision to change the layout is honestly irrelevant to me because I feel the same way about Crash and Vacant. I would obviously like to see those maps stay true to their original layouts, but the layout changes don't really bother me all that much, which is why I'm enjoying playing both Crash and Vacant right now in Modern Warfare. But when it comes to Shipment, however, the layout changes don't bother me nearly as much as the spawn system does. In my honest opinion, this is the worst map in Call of Duty history, bar none, the absolute worst map in Call of Duty history when you look at it from a design and balance perspective. I had thought that Infinity Ward reached their lowest point with their Shipment abomination back in Call of Duty Ghosts, where they literally made it a death arena and opened up the outsides of the map, but the atrocity that we see here in Modern Warfare 2019 definitely takes the cake. I mean, for crying out loud, guys, when what is happening on your screen right now is possible on a multiplayer map, that's definitely a bad sign. But the thing is, this isn't only possible on Shipment, this is the norm on Shipment. Every single game of Shipment is like what you're watching on your screen right now. Sometimes you're on the receiving end, sometimes you're on the giving end, but either way, it's going to be happening every single time you play this map. There is no control, there is no balance, it is just pure chaos, and you could probably drop 50 kills playing on this map just by spawning in with a shotgun and continuously firing at whatever may be in front of you. That being said, however, now that we've established that Shipment 2019 is the worst, least balanced, and least competitive map in Call of Duty history, it's pretty damn fun to play on, isn't it? It's actually wild to think about, and I've been trying to wrap my mind around this for the past couple of days, but Shipment is a horrible map from a design and a competitive perspective, especially when you compare it to the original layout that we saw in the original Modern Warfare game, but at the same time, the map is an absolute blast to play on. You have to throw all expectations and all preconceived notions about the map out the window and just go in and enjoy the roller coaster that is Shipment 2019. If you care about your stats, you're not going to like this map whatsoever. Most of your deaths, if not all of your deaths, are not going to be your fault, but if you like leveling up super quickly and maxing out weapon levels and camos in a hurry, then Shipment 2019 is an absolute godsend for Modern Warfare fans. I feel like as Call of Duty players, or even just gamers in general, we tend to choose the path of least resistance when it comes to unlocking things and completing our goals. That's why everyone was so upset when Shoot House 24/7 was replaced with Crash 24/7 a couple of weeks ago. For me personally, I loved the Crash playlist. I think Crash is the best map in Modern Warfare right now, and I wish it would come back as a 24/7 playlist. But going back to it, I feel like the reason why so many people seem to love Shoot House is not because it's a wonderfully designed map with top-tier gameplay. It's because it's really small. It was the smallest map in the game before Shipment came out, and therefore it was easy to complete challenges and to level up on. Because of that, despite the obvious issues that Shipment 2019 has, I think it's going to be here to stay, because the moment this playlist goes away, I can guarantee you the entire community will be screaming for it to come back, despite all of the negative press that the map has been getting for its horrible spawn system. Now, I feel as though the big question here is, why did Infinity Ward make the map like this in the first place, right? I mean, Shipment was already a great map. We know this from Call of Duty 4. We know this from Modern Warfare Remastered, as well as Call of Duty World War II. Why was it they decided to change up this layout? I mean, even back in World War II, which was not a Modern Warfare game, it had very different weapons in it, people loved that map and they wanted to play it all the time. The same was true back in COD 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered. So why did they intentionally make the spawn system really bad, the worst we've ever seen in a Call of Duty map? Well, I think it goes back to what we've been talking about since the launch of Modern Warfare. Infinity Ward built this game from the ground up to cater to new players and bring in a new audience. They don't really care so much about you and I, the players that have been around for years and have been supporting the franchise for years. They want to bring in a new target audience this year, and that may be the standard going forward here in the Call of Duty franchise. Well, because of that, I think it's pretty clear that they adjusted Shipment in this way so that literally anybody can drop 40 kills in a single match. The old Shipment layout and the old Shipment spawns allowed for controlled chaos, where if you could master the spawns, if you knew what you were doing, and if you were actually good at the game, you could play it smart and finish with a ton of kills and not that many deaths, right? The same is still somewhat true on Shipment 2019, but the fact that the entire enemy team can spawn directly behind you at any given point, and when you do die, they can throw you in the dead center of the map and then continuously spawn you there for 4 or 5 deaths in a row. Because that's true, there's really no semblance of balance or control in this map. It's all basically just thrown out the window. Despite all of that, however, I've really been enjoying playing on this map so far. I know intellectually that's a really bad map, but at the same time, it's just really fun to play on. I'm having a blast doing my officer challenges, as well as maxing out my favorite weapons and leveling up, and yeah, so it may be the worst map in Call of Duty history, but at the same time, it's a blast to play on, which is definitely very, very weird. But with the Shipment talk now out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the Season 1 update. I, for one, am a big fan of the Vacant remake. The extra buildings on the outside of the map were really unnecessary in my opinion. Like, they don't really need to be there. I mean, I understand they put some hard points and headquarters in there, which is fine, I suppose, but really, I don't feel as though it affects the overall gameplay all that much. There are a bunch of subtle changes. When you've been playing Call of Duty as long as I have, and you've played as much Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare Remastered as I have, then you get to know the maps on a pretty intimate level. Like, you know every single window, you know all the grenade spots, you know that you can run and jump through a certain window, and if you crouch while you're in the air, you won't mantle, you'll just simply go through the window itself. Like, you learn all these things over time the more you play on the maps. Well, there are some subtle changes on Vacant which don't allow you to do some of those things, and of course we have different buildings outside, and some of the boxes are in different areas, and some of the rooms are laid out slightly differently, but overall, I'm a pretty big fan of how Vacant 2019 here plays, and I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Now, as for the face-off maps, Shipment is Shipment, right? We've already talked enough about that. It's basically the same map, but in 2v2, that's fine. And when it comes to the winter theme on docks, I'm a pretty big fan of that. There's even a pretty cool Santa Claus / Back to the Future Easter egg on this map, which is definitely nice. But honestly, I hope we see a lot more holiday-themed content in the future. I mean, for this being the winter update, the only winter thing we got was a couple of skins for our operators and then a gunfight map. And there's a bunch of gunfight maps, and it's not even a new one, it's just a reskin with a holiday theme. So I hope going forward, when it comes to the future holidays, they go a bit more all out with it, right? It's nice that they gave us this winter dock map, but what about Winter Crash, right? I think they really missed a huge opportunity. They could have brought back Winter Crash, made it a 24/7 playlist, and it would have been a lot of fun to play on, like we saw back in Modern Warfare Remastered, but unfortunately, that was not the case. But at the same time, the life cycle is just beginning for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We still have upcoming events that we get every single year, like Shamrock and Awe and Days of Summer, and fingers crossed, we're going to get a proper Halloween event before Call of Duty 2020 releases, but all in good time, I suppose, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I will do my best to keep you guys up to date as soon as we learn more about the future of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but for right now, I'm going to wrap up this video by posing the question to you: what do you think of Shipment 2019 and the decisions that Infinity Ward has been making so far? I got a lot of very interesting feedback in my previous video from all sorts of different gamers and lots of different perspectives, which was very interesting to read through. So now that Season 1, Part 2, shall we call it, has been out for quite a while, I would love to hear what you guys think about Shipment, as well as Vacant, the gunfight maps, and the idea of drip-feeding content to the community as compared to releasing with a ton of content at launch instead of just kind of just spacing that stuff all out. I think Drifter actually did a video on on that earlier today. But regardless, I would love to hear what you guys think down there in the comments. Thank you guys all so much for listening, and stay tuned for even more Modern Warfare content in the very near future, as well as some interesting projects regarding some older Call of Duty games I'm very excited about. But until then, I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like on the video. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.